The start process is realizing what they're looking at first, and that's why we start with a blank census data form. Each one of the 10 years is formatted a little differently, and the federal government can change that form every 10 years. And so looking at the original document and helping them to realize each column is spelling out something different is the starting point. This is going to show you what a census data sheet looks like, particularly from the 1930s, because every 10 years it looks a little differently. And if you remember, we're working off these 4 key ideas that we want to read the document, we want to observe the different parts, we want to try to make sense of it, and then finally, what can it tell us about the historical record? This is what would have been used by the census takers in 1930 as they went door to door, and to record data based on each family household they went to. So I'd like you and your teammates to kind of make some observations based on what you see. What kinds of information is this going to be able to tell you about a particular person or their family?
Their age at first marriage.
If they're able to read or write.
Yeah, literacy is important.
Yeah. What else could you get from the census data?
Their personal appearance from lines 11 through 15.
Okay, lines 11 through 15, there's a personal description, right? So you have that information.
We said social class for home data, like whether they have a radio and stuff like that.
Okay, because there's some odd questions you saw on there, right? And then it's a matter of helping them to see what connections they can make within the data itself. A lot of the times it's having the appropriate probing questions as a teacher to kind of help them dig deeper. They might not initially see it, but I try to ask them some very broad probing questions to help them dig a little bit further into the document. Have you figured out where he's living at based on that data?
Georgia.
Georgia? Okay. You went to the top, right? Yeah. Piece of information that Harry just noticed too, just because you're looking at line 96, 97, and 98 does not mean that's the only place you're looking on the census table. Don't forget to look at the top too. So what was something you guys picked up on immediately?
They didn't say World War I, they just had it as World War.
Okay. We just have WW, and the reason they could do that is what's the year of the census? Right, so what hasn't happened yet?
World War II.
Right, there is no World War II. So you know that's got to be World War I. What do you see on all the other columns on that same chart? Say that again, John? For how many people?
All the people that aren't dependents.
Most of the heads.
All the heads of households start to have WW beside it. So this page is probably a lot of what? From World War I, right? It also then tells you, based on that, the place that Mr. Leinbach is living, since they're going house to house to house, is probably what? Military base. And somebody found it. Did anybody figure it out? It's Fort Benning, Georgia, because you found that where, Hannah?
At the top.
At the very top. It tells you exactly where we're at. So this is a military base. So now you know he's living in a military installation. You know the name of it. There's a lot of World War I veterans around. He is one himself. Good. They have this ability to see beyond just the piece of paper and kind of make some strong assumptions. Critical thinking and analysis of a primary source document are part of that process as well. And I think all those skills are nice because they transcend outside the social studies realm. They're not skills that they're just going to use inside my classroom. They're going to use those in math and science and English classes as well, and also into their jobs as they move into the future too.